Good evening from the chicken high tunnel. We haven't moved them in yet because the weather's staying mild, but we're trying to get everything in place for when it's time that everything's ready, which includes moving the compost out, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But I wanted to show you a purchase that I've made. So our garden, our soil is really loose. And so we've had a lot of issues with moles and voles. Now I'm learning about the two. Moles are your meat eaters. And actually I need to look something up. Okay, back from a Google search. So your moles are your meat eaters, and they're below the ground. When you see like a mound of dirt that's been disturbed, like a molehill, make a mountain out of a molehill, that's a mole that burrows into the ground, and they're burrowing into the ground to get like grubs and worms and things like that. Voles are your vegetable eaters, and they tend to like kind of make tunnels on the ground. So you just see like pathways that are kind of like worn into the ground. We have both. And what we've found is, one, the moles seem to like disturb seedling, like real tender seedling roots, and or just seeds when they're about to germinate, and then they don't, because they were kind of like, they started and then the mole tunneled underneath them and disturbed their roots, and then they don't grow. So this spring I got like a spinner, because I've read that the spinner like vibrates down into the soil and messes with how they navigate in the soil. It definitely did not work, because right next to it we had a elevated sweet potato bed, and there must have been a family of voles living in there eating our sweet potatoes. And yeah, so what I've gotten, I've read about these before, and I haven't, I had some battery powered ones of these, like solar powered sonic little stake thingies. So first thing I have to do is I have to figure out, there's a connector between the top and the bottom. It says to charge it. I got solar ones. It says to charge it for 2 days before you turn it on, and there's like a little on button here, and then you want to kind of make a pilot hole and get this stake 3/4 of the way into the ground. And it says that they cover a 49-foot radius. So like you can have like 82 feet in between these stakes. So I've got 4, and I hope to strategically plant or place them around once I have them charged, and see. Now I have a spot in my garlic bed that I've got, there's definitely like a vole path that goes through it, and I keep like kind of squishing it down, and the next day it's back. So what I would like to do, I haven't mulched that bed specifically because I want to get these set up near that and mush it down and see does it in fact go away. So once I get these charged, I'm going to do a lap around the garden. We're going to record any disturbance we see that looks like mole or vole tunneling, digging, whatever. We'll place these, and then kind of record, like kind of smush down the places that we see them, and then come back and record a day or 2 later and see if we're making any progress. Because it was really frustrating to have, we had 2 sweet potato planters that were like, the voles had a field day. They were very well fed. So that's that. I need to get these set up, but it's almost dark, so I guess it's kind of pointless to get them hooked up today. We'll make that well, not a tomorrow thing, because tomorrow's trick or treat. Probably a Tuesday thing. So kind of excited about that. And then I just wanted to show you, I'm in the chicken tunnel, I'm moving compost out, we're moving leaves in, we're kind of at that phase of the year, and I just want to show you what it looks like now, and what all of these leaves and garden waste and everything turn into after the chickens have been on them. So hang on. Okay, so this is the chicken tunnel space. There's going to be like a gate right here pretty soon. But we've been bringing in our leaves as we mow. Actually, as my daughter mows, she started calling it her lawnmower. So we mound them up really deep. Like in here, this is where the chickens will roost at night, and I've got them real deep in there. Lucky, buddy, knock it off. Because they drop about 50% of their manure at night while they're sleeping. So I want lots of bedding in there that I can continually stir the manure into to keep things clean for them. So we've got all those. We've got all of these leaves right here under this pallet here. We've got old dandelions, we've got sweet potato vines, we've got tomato vines, we've got corn stalks. So all of this leaves, and then over that's our food waste. Since we've moved the chickens off, that's where our compost goes during the spring. Like once the chickens have moved out to rotate through the backyard, that's where our food waste goes. And then once we bring them in, we'll just pick that up, and they'll start picking that up, churning that in with the leaves, eating what they want from that, and starting the breakdown process. Now, all of those things together over the course of the year, by next year at this time, all of that, all of that, all of this will turn into this amazing, absolutely amazing compost. I've been working on getting this out. Now, you'll see like the black pallet there. We have had like, that has been like full. So like, you know, picture that like a cube of those pallets. And essentially that's the amount of compost that we've had from our 8 chickens. So yard waste, leaves, food waste, anything coming out of the garden, and a winter's worth of fall, winter, early spring worth of chicken manure turns into absolutely amazing compost. And also the cool thing is when you manage your chickens this way through the winter, one, it's healthier for them, and there's no smell. I can come out, okay, just a second. Okay, it's okay for the German Shepherd to just be standing on the patio table, right? This is fine. Nala, what are you doing? I've never met a dog that was so indifferent to like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this thing. Anyway, so I can come out here in the chicken tunnel in the middle of winter when the outdoor run is covered in snow and they've only been using mainly this space, and I can just sit down and hang out with the chickens, and it doesn't smell and it's not gross. And they have something to do because they're constantly scratching in those leaves, which helps break them down and helps mix the manure in. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.